Hello, I'm Wendy Dignan and I'm a psychologist. I've got a general private practice, but my specialist training is in health psychology, which is all about the link between the brain and the body. I'm sure I don't need to explain stress or how it feels to any of you that are involved in HR. I often call workplace stress overwhelm because it's about having too much to do in too little time. Work stress is always up there in the stats published every year by the ONS about the top 10 stresses of the nation. The stats published for 2022 are showing that financial stress has moved on up there into the second place for the first time ever. This is no surprise to any of us who've recently filled up at the petrol station or had a gas bill and wondered if you'd been sent the wrong bill. So, financial stress. It's become the focus of our stress. But stress itself is not a new concept. So why should you be thinking or in fact doing anything differently? I think the way we cope and the level of stress we have has fundamentally changed. 75% of people struggling with stress use coping mechanisms like a psychological crutch, such as drinking too much alcohol, overeating and smoking to cope. The increase in stress and drinking during COVID alone rocketed, and there were 10% more alcohol-related deaths reported since 2021. The over 50s in particular cite illness and health concerns as their number one stressor. The world now, in psychological, physical and mental health terms, is a different place. But we're still working with outdated models of thinking and offering models of support to employees that have become irrelevant, particularly for the younger generation. 50% of under 30s cite comparison to others as a significant stressor, with nearly 60% citing the pressure to succeed as their most significant stressor. I'm just throwing social media out there as a factor. And one of the reasons why the support around stress and mental well-being currently on offer is so outdated. Stats are telling me that it's the under 30s that are particularly affected by stress currently. If resilience is the enemy of stress, we need to be teaching this age group the life skill of resilience. If we're building a generation known affectionately as the snowflake generation, we need to be arming them with Teflon coats now. There's a huge link between the brain and the body. Let me just phrase that differently. There is no cut-off switch here, which most people assume and think there is. Psychological health affects physical health, and physical health affects psychological health. If people are turning to coping mechanisms and crutches, such as drinking, eating, smoking, and stress, depression and anxiety impact physical health, my prediction is that as a nation, we're heading for a physical and psychological meltdown. As employers, I'm passing the baton to you. 75% of the UK have a job. Therefore, you're all best placed to have the most impact on the psychological and physical health of the nation, and in turn have happy, healthy and motivated employees. Yep, this is all really interesting stuff, Wendy, but what can I do with it? I can hear you all thinking that very thing. I've been having some great conversations with Matt at Each Person recently about delivering what employees really need right now, rather than just churning out all the usual suspects around support for mental and physical well-being. Employees need help to increase their financial well-being. If financial stress is becoming the biggest stressor of the nation, this is both in psychological terms and in practical terms. Employees need access to how-to types of solutions for all manner of psychological problems that address relevant issues in an accessible, normalising and engaging way. The interplay between physical and psychological health needs to be explored more and emphasised and supported as the same thing rather than being mutually exclusive. These are the ways that I feel businesses can have a huge impact on the well-being of employees in the workplace at the current time, so that you can all have happy, motivated and engaged employees.